I remember when I first entered the emergency room, she told me, I was like, what does this mean? And I was devastated, obviously. And she said, worst case scenario, she would need a kidney transplant, and and the worst case scenario. But they weren't sure at that moment because they thought maybe some kidney function could come back. You never know what the reason is, or you can sort of try with. They did something called plasmapheresis also in the hospital, where they cleaned out her blood, and they did all these procedures to try to sort of save whatever was left. But unfortunately, she had like less than 15% function in both kidneys, and so the transplant was the only option. So they basically said that she would be put on a list. I could get tested. Our other family members could go to Mount Sinai, was the transplant hospital that they referred us to, and they said that I can get anybody in the family could get tested, friends, family, and if somebody's a match, they can give their kidney to her. So at that point, I immediately thought, like, as a mom, you're just like, okay, then I'm sure me or her father is a match, and somebody's going to help her out, and we're going to, case closed, and we'll just give her the kidney and move about our lives. And I think what struck me the most, or what scared me the most, was, if we weren't matches, or if we couldn't do the surgery for whatever reason, I had asked about like the waiting list, essentially, like how long are children waiting on the waiting list, and she basically said that the waiting list before for children in New York was a shorter period, like 6 months to a year, typically. But she said lately, it's been that there are some children on the waiting list for 1, 2, even 3 years. They do have priority, obviously, over adults, but it's still because New York is really bad when it comes to sort of organ donation, and we're not as informed or not as good as the other states, that we have one of the worst shortages, I guess, for organs, and so the wait time for children was a lot longer.